Who are the best players in the AFC East? What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here to draft an AFC East all-star team, a Pro Bowl roster entering the 2023 NFL season exclusively using the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, and New England Patriots rosters. The offense, the defense, the special teams, and the coaching staff. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe for the rest of my division all-star teams entering the 2023 NFL season. Let's go. Kicking off the AFC East all-star team, we have to begin with the quarterback position. And obviously, it's going to be Josh Allen. I know there's a lot of Tua fans out there. There's Tua stans, the Tua Don. But no, I'm not going to be picking Tua over a one-man wrecking crew, a one-man show, the master of disaster. His name is Josh Allen. Josh Allen's that dude. He can throw it, he can run it, he can run you over. And apparently he can steal your girl as well. So he's going to be the quarterback for Team AFC East. At the running back position, I'm going with two different running backs for each division all-star team because I feel like two running backs actually play throughout the course of every game. So I'm going to pick a starter and a backup. The starting running back for the AFC East is going to be Rhamondre Stevenson. Yes, Mondre is going to be my starting running back. Coming from my New England Patriots, Rhamondre last year had a massive breakout season, proving that he's more than simply a bowling ball. The guy can hit the home run at his stature and size. Very impressive. Deceptively quick feet in between the tackles, can bounce, runs to the outside, can catch the football really well and run routes out of the backfield. Rhamondre Stevenson is an all-around incredible running back that will be featured on Team AFC East. The backup running back to Rhamondre Stevenson is Breece Hall of the New York Jets. Last year, in his rookie year, we saw glimpses of greatness from young Breece Hall. He flashed like big-time explosiveness, big-time breakaway speed, which makes him a perfect complement to Rhamondre Stevenson. Like I said, Stevenson has gas. He can go, but Breece Hall, as that kind of change of pace back for Rhamondre Stevenson, would be something different. So I have him as the second back on the team. At the wide receiver position, I'm picking three wide receivers to feature inside the AFC East offense. The number one wide receiver will be, of course, the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. Arguably one of the greatest receivers of all time, in my opinion. I would probably put him somewhere around my top 10 of all time, and I'm not kidding ya. The guy is simply unstoppable. You can line him up in the slot, out wide, give him a handoff. You could put him on punt or kick returns. He is simply a threat to score a touchdown on every single play that he touches the ball, screens, RPOs. He proved that, yeah, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are great, but I can be even greater if I'm funneled the football and I get away from Travis Kelce and I get even more targets on a different team. No matter who the quarterback is, he will produce. Tyreek Hill is the number one wide receiver. As the number two, of course, you have to stick with the chemistry of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Diggs has been one of the best receivers in the NFL for the past few years, ever since really uniting with Josh Allen and being a Buffalo Bill. He has showcased incredible route running capabilities, a true receiver that can separate at all three levels in a route tree. He's a dangerous player that is regularly double teamed. And now that he has Tyreek Hill by his side, I don't think he's going to be double teamed very much. And then the third and final receiver on the AFC East, maybe you could feature him as a slot player, Jalen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins. There were other choices for sure. Garrett Wilson comes to mind here, but Jalen Waddle is just different. His speed, his athleticism, his quickness, and yes, his lower body strength and power is exceptional. He can break tackles and make people miss. And the guy led the NFL in yards per reception last year. He's definitely on Team AFC East. The tight end position is not as stacked as the wide receiver position is in the AFC East, but the Patriots have a couple good tight ends to choose from. I'm going to go with Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots as the AFC East tight end. Hunter Henry is a well-rounded football player. I think he kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to the play calling and the scheme last year, especially out of all of the skill players in New England. I felt like Henry really just wasn't able to produce because he wasn't put in a good position. He was asked to block way too much. His route tree was just not the same. This is a good football player, an above average tight end in the NFL that can do a little bit of everything. He's a red zone threat. He can move the chains on third down. He can make big contested grabs. He fits in really well with the receiving core. I have Hunter Henry as the AFC East tight end. Now, the big offensive line of the AFC East, moving from the left to the right. At left tackle, I'm going with Dion Dawkins. Now, this might be a bit controversial considering Teron Armstead has been such a stud for such a long time. But personally, I'd rather have the guy that I know is going to be playing on Sundays. And Dion Dawkins has been extremely consistent for the Buffalo Bills. I think he is probably the most underappreciated player on the Buffalo Bills because without him, I feel like that offensive line falls apart. Like, he is by far the best player on that line. He plays over 1,000 snaps a season for the Buffalo Bills, and he protects Josh Allen's blind side. So you have Stephon Diggs, you have Josh Allen, you have Dion Dawkins. You are putting the core of the Bills offense onto the AFC East offense. I'm taking Dawkins over the injured Teron Armstead. At left guard, this is a little bit of a cheat, but you'll understand when I get to right guard. I'm going with Elijah Vera Tucker, and I understand that Elijah Vera Tucker does play right guard for the New York Jets, but this is a guy that's pretty much played every position on the offensive line, given how many injuries the Jets have had on the offensive line as of late. I'm putting Elijah Vera Tucker here. He's an excellent football player, by far the best offensive lineman on the New York Jets. He is super versatile, super tough. I really like him in the run game. I think he could play tackle or guard. He's going to play left guard for the AFC East. At the center spot, I'm taking my guy, the legendary David Andrews, a multi-time Super Bowl champion, a captain of the Patriots for many years, including some of those Super Bowl seasons. This guy has snapped the football to Mac Jones, Cam Newton, and Tom Brady. He has experience in big games, and he is probably one of the 6 or 7 best centers in the NFL right now. He deserves to be the leader and the signal caller of the O-line on my unit. At the right guard position, we're going to add a friendly face to the offensive line for David Andrews. I'm taking Michael Onwenu, and this is why I put Elijah Vera Tucker to the left guard position, because Michael Onwenu, the last couple of years, he's been one of the best right guards in the NFL ever since getting rid of Shaq Mason and then unleashing Michael Onwenu onto the NFL. This guy's played right tackle, right guard. I believe he's had snaps at left guard. He's kind of played everywhere for the Patriots, but last year he was truly able to showcase his ability at right guard, even in a kind of messy system. He's just so physically gifted, especially as a downhill run blocker. He's going to open up big time, gashing lanes for this running game. At right tackle, we've got another New England Patriot. Now, I'm not taking the Patriots right tackle situation because that is not very good, coming from a true fan. The left tackle, though, Trent Brown, has played a lot of right tackle, and he's actually probably played better throughout his career at the right tackle spot, although that might be debatable. But when you look across the AFC East, I think right tackle is probably the weakest position in the entire division across the Dolphins, Bills, Jets, and Patriots rosters. So I'm cheating, and I'm taking a guy that has played right tackle, but currently plays left tackle in Trent Brown. When he's on his game, Trent Brown is one of the best tackles in the NFL, and it's a contract year for him. So I'm expecting good things at right tackle for the AFC East. That is your AFC East offense. Now switching sides to the defensive side of the football, we're going to begin on the defensive line with the big pass rushing defensive ends. My first pick at the edge position is going to be another New England Patriot. And here cue the biased comments. Matthew Judon is the best pass rusher in this division at the edge position. He is a top 10 edge player, being conservative, in the NFL, and he can fit in any scheme. So given his versatility, his ability to rush the quarterback, his athleticism, his experience, his IQ, he has to be the first pick at the edge spot. The opposite edge spot gets a little interesting because there's a few different players that you could go with, including another Patriot, Josh Uche, but I'm not going to go that way. I'm actually going to take an up-and-coming Miami Dolphin. His name is Jalen Phillips from the U. I'm a big Jalen Phillips fan. I think he has a huge ceiling, and I feel he could be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL as soon as this year. I'm taking Jalen Phillips. I love how you can move him around, play him inside, outside. He's a great blitzer. He's a dynamic talent. I love him and Matt Judon. They complement each other perfectly well. Moving to the inside of this defensive line, my first pick is, without question, Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is a top 3 or 4 interior defensive lineman in all of football, and at times he can be the most physically dominating force at this position. He's not the most refined or technique savvy, but man, this guy is a bull. He is an absolute bus. I'm taking Quinnen Williams as my first pick on the interior. My second pick on the interior is someone who can complement Quinnen Williams. Maybe not the most complete pass rusher, but we already have enough pass rushing. I'm going with one of the best run defenders in all of football, Christian Wilkins of the Miami Dolphins. I believe he led the NFL last year in run stuffs and run stops. He is an absolute beast at getting into the backfield and clogging up the middle of the offensive line. He's going to really help Quinnen Williams eat double teams, get after the quarterback. I mean, that is a dynamic duo. So that is my defensive line. Moving to the second level of the defense, my first pick at linebacker is, in my opinion, the 4th best linebacker in all of football, according to my rankings, Matt Milano of the Buffalo Bills. Matt Milano is an absolute stud, and I believe he is still underrated. He is a little undersized, and because of that, some people overlook his ability to navigate the running game and be able to make plays that way. But he is such a savvy and intelligent linebacker. He is so good in coverage. His ability to play man, zone, carry tight ends, play coverage on backs, and just his ability to read offenses is out of this world. He is the best linebacker in the AFC East. The second best linebacker in the AFC East, and a guy that is also extremely intelligent, is CJ Mosley. I don't think CJ Mosley gets enough credit for his game. I think CJ Mosley is a very good football player, still into his 30s. He was one of the NFL's leading tacklers last year. He has actually gotten better in coverage over his years because of his experience and his reading of offenses and all that. And I thought he was phenomenal last year. He plays an absolutely crucial role for the Robert Saleh defense, and he will on Team AFC East. Moving to the safety position. Safety is a very talented position in the AFC East, so I had a lot to choose from here. So I'm going to split it into more of a free safety, strong safety type of deal. Beginning with the free safety position, I'm going to take Micah Hyde of the Buffalo Bills. Even though he did get injured last year, Micah Hyde has been one of the best, most consistent free safeties in football. There are going to be those that go with the younger guy, Javon Holland, but I just think Micah Hyde has been so good for so long. He is so smart, and I just really value his ability in that back end. He does remind me a little bit of my guy Devin McCourty over the years, that playing that deep third, the ability to cover so much space. I think the Bills missed him a ton last year. I'm going to take him as the free safety of this team. At the strong safety or box safety position, I'm going to take Kyle Duggar of the New England Patriots. Being able to play in the perfect role for him is just playing in the box and being a playmaker. That's what Kyle Duggar does best, and I expect the best Kyle Duggar we've ever seen in 2023. He is an absolute specimen, one of the best athletes in all of the NFL. He can cover tight ends. He can play in the box as a true linebacker. He can just do everything. He's a great complement for the deep third safety, Micah Hyde. Then we move to the cornerback position, where again, we have so much talent. Now, I will say out front, I did not include Jalen Ramsey due to the injury, so we're not going to include Jalen Ramsey in my 3 cornerback positions. The third cornerback is going to be more of a defensive back position, where you could choose a nickel corner or a corner, or really whatever you want depending on your preference, maybe even a safety. I am going to first begin with my number 1 corner, which the number 1 corner is going to be mostly the shutdown guy, and that is Sauce Gardner of the New York Jets. Sauce Gardner is maybe the best corner in the NFL. In my opinion, he probably is. I thought he was unbelievable last year, and I think Sauce, yeah, he plays in that Jets Seattle scheme, but I feel like he could play in any scheme. You know, he has the feet and the length and the physicality and the size to play press man coverage on the regular. I think he'll do that for Team AFC East. On the opposite side, as corner CB2, as much as I would like to go with the rookie Christian Gonzalez of my New England Patriots, I am not that crazy to put a rookie into this position. I am going to choose a guy that's been very good for a long time. He was injured a little bit last year. He came back from an injury, but he's been really good throughout his career. He's been one of the best corners in the NFL since he was drafted. That's Tre'Davious White of the Buffalo Bills, one of the best zone corners in all of football. His ability to jump routes, to undercut footballs, I think that's going to play perfectly into the combination of him and Sauce on the outside. Both tall, long, pretty fast guys. And then in the nickel position, I'm going with arguably the best nickel corner in football. That's Jonathan Jones of the New England Patriots. So we get 3 different representatives. We've got the Bills, we've got the Patriots, we've got the Jets, all at the cornerback position. All 4 teams have exceptional secondaries. It was actually tough to leave out a Miami Dolphin from the secondary, but I just had to do what I had to do. Jonathan Jones just gives me so much versatility. He could play outside as he did last year. He could play in the nickel as he does for many years, and he's very good in man coverage, which I very much respect. He's also a veteran of this game. So that is the complete defense for Team AFC East. Now, let's finish it off with a cherry on top with the coaching staff and the special teams players. Let's first begin with the special teamers. At the kicker spot, I'm going with Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Bass has just been really consistent kicking in Buffalo. Very cold, very tough weather, but he's been in a lot of big games. He has a very big leg. I respect it. And really, this division doesn't have great kicking overall, but I'm going to take Tyler Bass for the kicker spot. At the punter spot, I'm going to take Miami's Thomas Morstead. I thought that he's just had a really long, really productive career, had a good season last year, probably the best out of all of the AFC East punters. And again, another position for these special teams that isn't in a perfect position, but he's definitely serviceable. And at the returner position, this one was kind of a no-brainer, although Braxton Berrios definitely gives Marcus Jones a run for his money, but Marcus Jones is the pick, absolutely. He's the kick returner, he's the punt returner. He was one of the best returners of all time in college football, and I think actually, in terms of production, the best. And then he enters the NFL, he wins a game for them against the New York Jets, has a huge moment, and just regularly put up big returns. He is just getting started. He might be one of the best returners in the NFL today. The coaching staff for Team AFC East. First, the head coach. It has to be the greatest of all time, Bill Belichick, and having a quarterback back on his side that is at the elite level, I think will take a lot of pressure off of him. Of course, he'll be able to bring his defensive mastermind to the table, which is what you're really looking for. His game management is still superb. And at the offensive coordinator spot, I'm also going with Bill O'Brien. I know this might be a little surprising. I'm not taking head coaches as my coordinators. I'm taking the true coordinator, just so we know. I would take Mike McDaniel, but because I can't take Mike McDaniel, I'm going to take Bill O'Brien. I just think he's coached for so many teams, so many different quarterbacks. He has so much experience. He's been a head coach himself. I think that really helps. And I also feel like the Bills and the Patriots do have similar schemes as it is. So I think his scheme, that's a lot like Brian Daboll's with Josh Allen, I think that would work very, very well. And then the defensive coordinator, I'm going to go Vic Fangio. I could just go with like Steve Belichick or Gerard Mayo, but I'm going to take Vic Fangio. I'm going to allow Vic Fangio to put a little flair, a little flavor of his own onto Bill Belichick's mastery defensively. I think that would be a dynamic duo on the defensive play calling side of the football, and take a little pressure off of Bill from the defensive side of the football to focus on other areas, perhaps special teams, which might be the weakness, or maybe even, just situational play calls. So the New England duo at the coaching spot and Vic Fangio, that is Team AFC East. You guys let me know in the comments what you think of this team. Do you think this is one of the strongest in the NFL? Personally, just judging it right now, I feel like this is going to be one of the top 3 teams that we see in this series. Let me know which division you're excited to watch the most. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. Peace.